iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. So I want to get to tonight's action in DFS for baseball. And I want to talk about a few things I think are critically important. Tonight is a very difficult night. And I want you guys to understand the many layers that are going to be affecting us when we're playing. So firstly, we have some weather concerns, some major weather concerns. First of all, it looks like the Yankees and Red Sox and the Mets and Braves, it really looks like these games are going to be postponed. Okay? So those games are bad. Then we've got another couple of games here, specifically the Rays and Orioles and the Marlins and Phillies, which the Marlins and Phillies looks more doubtful. The Rays and Orioles is a little sketchy, but you could have some delays here. You could have games being canceled, postponed. You got a lot of issues going on in the Northeast. So right there, that's 4 games on this slate that you have to be very careful with, okay? So before we do anything, we've got 4 games that we've got to put to a side and say, you know what? I don't trust what's happening with the weather. I'm concerned. Next. Another game that has weather concerns, the Nationals versus the Rockies in Coors Field. Vegas is putting this game at 11. That's telling you there are going to be tons of runs scored. There's Joe Ross, who's, tricky at best. I mean, that's a good case scenario. I mean, this guy could also be a disaster. I don't think he goes more than 5 or 6 innings, and he's going up against German Marquez. I don't even know who German Marquez is. Is he Herman or German? I don't know, but I know that this guy's a train wreck. So I want to have a piece of the Rocky game, but it's in Coors Field, and it could be raining. So we could have delays, or this game might not finish until 2 in the morning. Who knows what's going on? And now to make this even more diabolical, you have Clayton Kershaw pitching tonight. So you've got Kershaw pitching, and he's a big favorite against the Giants, who right now can barely hit. I mean, he's going up against Ty Block, who's not much of a pitcher, and he's not much of a strikeout guy. I've got to think that Kershaw is going to have a good game. So do I get Kershaw in? Do I play the Rockies National game at all? And what about my weather concerns? So right here, you already have what's a very difficult game to begin with. Right? DFS baseball is even more complicated. So what do? I think you pull back. I'm not telling you not to play. But if you normally play $150, I play 50. If you normally play $500, I play 200. If you normally play $20, I'll play 10. Why? Because it's way too risky. There are minefields everywhere tonight. Weather minefields. Game minefields with the Coors Field minefield, which is huge, and the Kershaw minefield. That's one you got to watch out, because normally when it's a Kershaw slate, you either have to go all in on Kershaw or avoid Kershaw. Right? Now I've got to worry about the Rockies at home with the weather problems and weather problems elsewhere. So, look, I know we all love playing DFS, and I know more importantly we love the action, right? We love the ability to play because it's fun. We set our lineups. We don't talk to our wives. We're doing, honey, I'm busy, I'm watching baseball. We love watching baseball. But there are some nights that are good DFS nights, and there are some nights that are bad DFS nights. And this is a pretty bad DFS night. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe smarter people than I am will be out there saying, oh, you guys, this is an easy slate. Take this guy, this guy, this guy. Maybe those guys know what they're talking about. I just don't see it. And look, as the Roto visionary, usually things come very clearly to me. But I'll tell you this, if I'm playing, I'm going to have one Kershaw slate for sure. Not going to avoid that. I'll probably have one Coors Field slate, and then I'll probably have a third lineup which just basically runs away from everything. And that's it. And I'm not going to play them too heavy. You know, a few bucks on each lineup, and that's about it. A few bucks in a dream. Because this night can really blow you up. Now, I would think the following. DFS is a hard sport. If we call it a sport, it's a hard game. But you've got to know when to go in and you've got to know when to lay back. It's like when you're playing poker. Are you going in with a 2 and a 3? Because tonight, this is like you're going in with a pair of 3s. I don't feel good going in with a pair of 3s. I like going in with a pair of jacks or higher. Right? It's predictability. Going in with a pair of 3s, you're probably going to get lit up. Now, maybe you pull a 3 in the river card. I don't know. But I'll tell you this, I don't feel good about it. And if I don't feel good about my team, I don't want to spend too much money on my team. So be very careful tonight. Watch what you're doing. Take a look at the optimizer in Scout Fantasy. Take a look at our articles. See what people are talking about. But be very careful tonight. Minefields everywhere. All right. Very happy to talk about also on Scout Fantasy Sports today on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. We had day 2 of the NFL live mock draft. And there were some very good picks and some picks that surprised me. The Browns at pick 12, Lane Atkins, who I really like, does the Browns Insider for Scout.com. He took Patrick Mahomes from Texas Tech. I don't know if I see that. But, you know, I hear the word gunslinger. Mahomes a gunslinger. He's like Brett Favre and Johnny Manziel. He's a gunslinger. Is everybody who chucks the ball in traffic a gunslinger? Is that what we call them? Or how about irresponsible? I don't know. Maybe he's going to be a good quarterback. I don't know if it's anytime soon. I don't ever think Texas Tech guys become great quarterbacks. They're good college quarterbacks, not necessarily the greatest pro quarterbacks. Maybe I'm wrong by that. I'm not taking Mahomes there. I know John Gruden liked him, but I don't. The Cardinals took Garyon Conley in our mock draft here. I like that. Basically to put another guy alongside of Patrick Peterson Roto to be out there to play some defense. The Eagles took Corey Davis. This pick was made by Jeff Ratcliffe from Pro Football Focus. I really like this pick for the Eagles. When you have a Carson Wentz, you've got to give him weapons. Alshon Jeffrey's a weapon, but he signed a 1-year deal. How long is he going to be there? I'm not sure, but Corey Davis is a player. And if Corey Davis emerges, you can get rid of Alshon Jeffrey. The Colts in our draft here took Takaris McKinley. I thought this was interesting because I think they wanted a guy who could really rush the passer. So they were looking at Reuben Foster, but it came up about character issues. So let's talk about character for a second. If this was real life and I worked for the Indianapolis Colts and I was making, $3 million a year as a general manager, and by the way, if that job is out there, I'm very interested in Jim Irsay, just give me a call. Okay? I'd be happy to help you out. Promise you that we'll make the playoffs. Promise. I'm not sure whether I take my chances on low character guys. Why? Because I got to put food on the table for Mrs. Roto and the little Rotos. I got to put them in college, and I got to support my family. And I don't know whether I want to trust my family on some low character dude who's doing drugs in college, who's getting busted at the combine for failing drug tests. I get it. We're not all perfect. I totally get that. We all make mistakes. I get that even more. But what I don't need is somebody screwing up my family life because he's being an idiot. I don't need knuckleheads ruining my family life. That said, in fantasy, I'll take the shot. Certainly in a redraft league, it's 1 year, so I lose. I'll come back next year and I'll win. I'll take the shot on a player. Secondly, if it's a dynasty league, I still may take a shot on a player. It's fantasy. If I'm wrong, sure, I'm losing 2, 3, 4, $500, but I'm not losing my life, and I'm not getting fired on the street, and my kids still have a house to live in. So I think when we're taking a look at these draft picks, you'll see, well, why did they pass on so-and-so? Because you want a high character kind of guy. In our draft, that's why they took Takaris McKinley over Reuben Foster. Now, Reuben Foster went 18 in our mock draft to the Titans because at this point he was the second pick of the Titans in the first round. And the Titans could make a risky pick because they already had Marshawn Lattimore in day one. The Ravens at pick 16 took Mike Williams from Clemson. I'm really liking this pick. This is a very good player. I don't know if he's going to be on the board in real life. I don't know if he's going to make it on the board on Thursday, but he's a first-round pick. I don't know if he'll be there for the Ravens, but if he is, I think the Ravens take him in 2 seconds. The Redskins take Derek Barnett from Tennessee in our mock draft to put pressure on the quarterback. If you can't, I'll keep it easy. Here's football for you in a nutshell. Have a good quarterback, protect your quarterback, and sack the other team's quarterback. You do those 3 things, you have a very good chance to be a playoff contender. Have a good quarterback, protect your quarterback, and sack the other team's quarterback. Well, the Redskins have to get to the other team's quarterback. And when you're playing Eli Manning, and you're playing Dak Prescott, and you're playing Carson Wentz, you bet against the quarterback. The Titans, as I mentioned, took Reuben Foster. Thought that was a very good pick. The Buccaneers took Adoree Jackson from USC. What does Adoree Jackson do? He gives them a partner with Vernon Hargreaves. They play in the NFC South. They play the Panthers. They play the Saints. They play the Falcons. They play teams who like to throw the football. Good pick. Adoree Jackson can also help them in special teams. The Broncos took Cam Robinson because they need an offensive lineman desperately. They have nobody protecting Trevor Siemian and Paxton Lynch. That was a good pick. The Lions in our mock draft took Jared Davis from Florida. A need pick because they need a linebacker, and also a need pick because he's a high character guy. Once again, what did I tell you? Teams are shying away from guys who cause trouble. And then finally, pick 22, Forrest Lamp goes from Western Kentucky. This way, Laramie Tunstall will get moved to left tackle, which is where he really needs to be. And he's a very good player. So what I thought was interesting about today versus yesterday, I think teams took guys because of the names. I thought in today's draft, guys took them because of need. Adoree Jackson, need. Cam Robinson, need. Jared Davis, need. Forrest Lamp, need. Now, are these guys great players? I'm not so sure. Is Jared Davis a great linebacker? Maybe, maybe not. But he fits the Lions system. And too often when we do mock drafts, I think the mistake that people make, right? They go for the name player and not for the team's need. So tomorrow we're finishing up our draft. The Giants at 23, the Raiders at 24, the Texans at 25, the Seahawks at 26, the Chiefs at 27, Cowboys 28, Packers 29, Steelers 30, Falcons 31, and the Saints at 32. So should be very interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with that. I don't know if you guys caught the news, but 2 more pieces of football news for you. Firstly, the New Orleans Saints signed Adrian Peterson to a 2-year contract. It's really a 1-year contract with an option for a 2nd year. I was a little shocked by this myself, but Sean Payton really must despise Mark Ingram. He must hate this guy something fierce. Mark Ingram has never done anything wrong in my book. I think he's a pretty good running back, but it doesn't matter. Sean Payton hates his guts. So I think we see a lot less of Tim Hightower. We see a lot more of Adrian Peterson, and I think Mark Ingram gets half the carries. That's what's going to happen. I don't understand it myself, but I think Mark Ingram's still a sneaky pick in fantasy circles. But Adrian Peterson, is he a 3rd running back in fantasy? Probably. I don't love him, but hey, pairing him up with Drew Brees, that should be fun. Should be fun to watch that. And then another move that astounded me, actually. The Patriots signed Mike Gillislee to an offer sheet, and the Buffalo Bills said, okay, sayonara, Gillislee. I thought that was terrible. Buffalo really could have used Mike Gillislee. LaShawn McCoy is not going to play forever. Jonathan Williams he's aight, but he's not great. I think Mike Gillislee really was a good running back at times. And I think this is going to be a big loss for the Bills. And you know what? Just goes to show you how good the Patriots are. Twice now in 2 years, they take Chris Hogan and Mike Gillislee. You think, Buffalo, you've learned your lesson? When New England signs your guys to an offer sheet, match it. Because they know what they're doing and you don't. Because if you did, you'd be a playoff team. It's as simple as that. You know what else is simple? You being a member of the Scout Army. I want you to go to scoutfantasy.com, enter the promo code ROTO, that's ROTO, pay for 1 month, you get 2 more for free. You get access to our premium message boards, our baseball optimizer, our strength of schedule for football, our articles, our whatever we've got going on, you've got it at Scout. Enter that promo code ROTO, that's ROTO, and pay for 1 month, you get 2 more months for free. Be a member of the Scout Army. All right, tomorrow we'll be finishing up that live mock draft, and of course the real draft's coming up later this week. I know I'm excited. I hope you are too. And remember, if you're playing MLB DFS, be very careful tonight. It's a rough slate. I know you could pull through. Check out what we're doing at Scout Fantasy. Check out what the optimizer tells you to do. Hopefully you will be my rich friend. All right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Back tomorrow with more. So have a great day, be well, and take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!